Davina sighed and turned away from the pier glass. Her head may not have been turned by her success in London, but it had been turned by Felix Boyer, one of the leading actors of the day. She had listened breathlessly as Felix quoted poetry to her, grasping her milk-white hand in his. She had swooned under his ardent gaze as he murmured words of endearment. She had gazed rapturously at him on stage as he performed all the great roles. He was so dashing and romantic. Why, oh why had her father disapproved so? Why, oh why had he insisted she leave London and come here to isolated Priory Park? Would it have mattered so much if she had fallen in love with an actor? She knew her father was ambitious for his two daughters, but surely the fact that his elder daughter, Regine, was now engaged to a duke would allow him to be more lenient regarding Davina's romantic choice. Did he really need Davina to marry for status as well? What Davina could not know, and what Lord Shelford could not bring himself to tell her, was that Felix Boyer was known to gaze ardently at any young woman with a fortune. This, despite the fact that he had been keeping a mistress in Hove for over 10 years. Davina stared around her sitting room. Her father had taken great care to have the room decorated in a way that would appeal to her, and she had to admit that it was very pretty indeed. For a prison. Davina walked to the door and opened it. The corridor outside was silent. She longed for the sound of voices, scurrying feet, the clip-clop of horses' hooves on the London streets. Her father was travelling to London today and would be gone for a week. He planned to meet Regine's fiancé and discuss their wedding. Davina had wanted to go with him, but to her chagrin, her father had refused. Lord Shelford had in fact been warned that Felix Boyer was to be seen about town in the company of a new young lady, the daughter of a duke. Lord Shelford did not want Davina hurt at the idea that Felix had forgotten her so soon. Davina wandered along the south corridor, glancing through the open doors of unoccupied rooms. She had seen very little of Priory Park since she arrived. It seemed enormous to her. Her new lady's maid, Jess, had told her there were over 50 rooms. It had 2 wings, an east wing and a west wing, and a great sweeping staircase leading to the upper floors. It also boasted a handsome ballroom. Davina wondered if they would ever know enough people in the local society to fill it. This part of England seemed so far from what she considered to be civilization. Why, this was 1870, and yet the nearest railway station was a 4-hour carriage drive away. The land beyond the confines of Priory Park looked wild and lonely, composed of heathery moor and deep black lakes. There could be nobody remotely interesting in this bandit country, thought Davina. She heard footsteps ahead, and a moment later Jess appeared carrying a pile of fresh linen. The maid looked anxious when she saw Davina in the corridor. "Oh, miss, have you been looking for me? I am sure I never heard you ring." "That is because I didn't," smiled Davina. "So please, don't worry." Jess bobbed a grateful curtsy. "I was on my way to your room to help you dress," she said. Davina nodded absently. "Where does that corridor lead?" she asked. Jess followed her mistress's gaze. "To the stairs that lead down to the laundry room, or up to the attic of the east wing, miss," she added. Davina nodded. "Who sleeps up there?" "The laundry maid is all, miss. The main servants' quarters is above the west wing. Though I heard Lord Shelford say he were going to put some new beds up in the east attic when he hires more staff. It's early days yet, isn't it, miss?" "Yes, it is," sighed Davina. "My father is going to need a lot more staff to run this place, I think." Jess thought that Lord Shelford could afford it. The amount he had already spent doing up Priory Park after all its years of neglect. She could not say this, of course, so after a moment's silence she asked what she considered to be the most pressing question. "So, are you coming back to your room to dress now, miss?" Davina shook her head. "I'm going to explore a little. I've been here over 2 weeks, and I still feel I need a map to find my way around." "But you're still in your morning gown, miss," exclaimed Jess in astonishment. "I know," laughed Davina. "And there's the clock beginning to strike noon, and I should be by rights in my afternoon dress. But who is there to see me?" Jess stared after her mistress as she tripped off along the corridor that led to the east wing. She shook her head. Miss Davina was so pale and fragile looking, but she certainly had an unexpected will of her own.